Welcome. In this playthrough, Marvel Champions a card game, we're going to have Captain America and Spider-Man take on Rhino in expert mode with backup from MODOK and his Doomsday chair. So for our hero deck construction, we've got Cap with his base 15 cards. I like aggression and justice. So 2 power of aggression, 2 combat trainings, 3 relentless assaults, 3 uppercuts, Asgard weapon, the Hulk, and Valkyrie. And then for our basic cards, we've got 2 of the 3 resources, 3 haymakers, downtime, 2 of those, Mockingbird, Helicarrier, and 3 enhanced physique cards. And for Spider-Man, like I said, his base cards, we've got some good ones in there, that's for sure. 2 power of justice, 3 for justice, 2 under surveillance, 2 heroic intuition. Surveillance team, we've got 3, then Jessica Jones and Daredevil. And for the basics, we've got 1 each of the 3 basic resources, Nick Fury, Helicarrier, Avengers Mansion, Mockingbird, 2 endurance, and then 2 first aids. So finishing our game setup, we have Rhino 2 and 3, starting off with a scheme of 1, attack of 3. When revealed, search in counter deck and discard pile for the break and take inside scheme, reveal it and shuffle in the counter deck. And 15 health per player, so we've got him set up with 30 health. The break-in and take inside scheme, when revealed, place an additional threat per player here. It's going to give us an extra encounter card, base of 2, so it's getting 4 threat on it to start with. And our one and only main scheme. Content, we're using Rhino 2 and 3 for expert mode. We've got the additional 3 cards for expert. Standard encounter set, and instead of Bomb Scare, we're using MODOK and his Doomsday Chair encounter set. And then on the other side, our threshold is 7 per player, so 14 threat on here. The stage will be completed, and we will lose the game. So giving the encounter deck one last shuffle, then we'll take a look at our heroes. So starting with Steve Rogers, recovery of 3. So living legend, reduce the cost of the first ally played each round by 1. And the setup ability, search his deck for a shield upgrade, add it to her hand and shuffle her deck. She's got a hand size of 6 and 11 hit points. This hero side, 2 thwart, 2 attack, and 2 defense. And I can do this all day action. Discard a card from your hand to ready Captain America once per round. And a hand size of 5 on that side. So we'll give his deck one last shuffle and get his hand set up. So he gets 6 cards. Starting with the Shield Toss, Power of Aggression, Fearless Determination, Super Soldier Serum, Relentless Assault, and Combat Training. So definitely like the Serum there. And the Power of Aggression with Combat Training. And we'll go with that also. So we'll discard those and draw 2 more. Getting 2 uppercuts. Then to finish up him, we can go find our shield. Let's see where that's hiding at in here. There we go. That'll give us +1 defense, and we gain retaliate. Then for Peter Parker, we've got a recovery of 3, scientist resource ability, generate a mental resource once per round, hand size of 6, hit points of 10, thwart of 1, attack of 2, defense of 3. When the villain initiates an attack against you, we draw a card with a Spider Sense Interrupt and a hand size of 5 on that side. So give it one last shuffle. And 6 cards. So we've got Enhanced Spider Sense, Swinging Web Kick, 2 of those, Power of Justice, a First Aid, and a Mockingbird. I think I'll keep those 2. And pitch the other 4. Getting energy, web shooter, spider tracer, and a helicarrier. So we'll just start with flipping it over. Then we're going to, it's a hero action, give ourselves +1 thwart until the end of the phase and draw a card. Getting enhanced physique. Then we'll put in our super soldier serum, 2 resources there. So we can exhaust this to generate a physical resource. Then we'll put in combat training. Play under any player's control. Your hero gets +1 attack. We'll use the power of aggression for that. Then we'll put our shield in play, using this as the resource. And since we do have a thwart of 3, we'll go ahead and thwart there. Pitch a card to ready. Since we have an attack of 3, we'll swing into Rhino, taking him down to 27. And for Peter Parker, we're going to put a web shooter in play. So it gets 3 web counters. It's a hero resource. We can exhaust this to remove a counter from it to generate a wild resource. We'll use his free resource to do that. Then flip him on over. And he's going to thwart for 1. Just so we can get rid of the break and take inside scheme. Then we'll go for a swinging web kick. It's a hero action, deal 8 damage to an enemy using these 3 resources. So taking him down to 19. That will end our hero actions. So Cap will draw up to 5. Getting a helmet, haymaker, our Asgard weapon whose name I can't pronounce, downtime, and another combat training. And for Spider-Man, we're going to keep these 2 and draw 3 more. Getting Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and a first aid. So Rhino will start out with 2 threat there. Then attack on Captain America. We'll go ahead and defend. So base 3 attack, 4 coming our way. So we'll take 1 and retaliate for 1. Then he'll initiate an attack on Spider-Man. We'll draw a card, getting the power of justice. And defend also. So 3 attack coming in, and we block all of that. So then in counter cards, man out of time. So we can choose to flip to our alter ego form. If we did, we could exhaust Steve Rogers to remove this from the game, but that's not going to be an option. So we discard half the cards in our hand, rounded down, and then discard this obligation. So we have 5 cards in hand. Since we're rounding down, we have to get rid of 2 of them. So I think we'll discard these. And then for Spider-Man, getting a biomechanical upgrade. So it's got Surge. The text is attached to a minion with the highest printed hit points and without another biomechanical upgrade attached. It's got no target, so we're going to discard this. It does have the force interrupt that when attached minion would be defeated, heal all damage from it instead, then discard this card. So no target, we'll get rid of it, but it did have Surge. So now we've got Sandman, who comes in with toughness, 2 scheme, and 3 attack. And Spider-Man will become first player. So we're going to start by putting Helicarrier in play. We can exhaust this, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card the player plays by 1 this phase. There's 2 resources, and we'll use 1 from our web shooter. Then we'll go ahead and use that to make our next card come in 1 cheaper. So Jessica Jones is going to cost us 2, which will be paid with the power of justice. She's got a thwart of 1, attack of 2, and she gets +1 thwart for each side scheme in play. And she's going to go ahead and swing into the Sandman to get rid of toughness. And take 1 damage. Then we're going to put in another combat training, but for Spider-Man this time, using that for one resource, this for the other. Then we'll discard a card to ready Cap and have him swing in for 3 damage. And that'll be our turn. So we're going to draw 4 more cards, keep this in hand. So Spider Tracer, under surveillance, endurance, and a surveillance team. And for Cap, getting 5 cards. Got the power of aggression, enhanced physique, a helicarrier, Valkyrie, and a haymaker. So 2 threat on their scheme, so from 2 to 4. Then Rhino initiates an attack over on Spider-Man, so we get to draw a card, getting a web shooter. We'll go ahead and defend. So 3 attack coming in, 3 defense, nothing there. But Sandman will hit us for 3, taking us down to 7. And Rhino attacks on Captain. He'll defend also. So 3 coming in. We've got 3 defense, and we retaliate for 1. Then a counter card time. So we are in hero form. The villain attacks you. So initiating attack, drawing a card. Jessica will defend. So 3, 4, 5 damage coming her way. And then on Captain America, Rhino attacks you. If a character is damaged with this attack, this character is stunned. Oh, no way out of that. So 3, 4, 5 damage coming in. And he is stunned. But he's first player now. We're going to discard a card to ready Cap. As Spider-Man for help, he'll play his helicarrier to make our next card 1 cheaper. So we can play our helicarrier. So it's 1 cheaper. It's going to cost us 2. Here's 1. Here's the second one. Then we're going to flip over and go ahead and recover 3 health. So up to 8. And then the next ally we play is 1 cheaper. So we'll bring in Valkyrie here. So when she enters play, we'll deal 2 damage to a minion. 3 instead if we paid for this using an energy resource, which we can. But it doesn't matter because he only had 1 health left. Then because it's always risky, she's going to thwart for 1. Spider-Man will put in another web shooter, using this as his resource. Then he's going to give himself +3 hit points, using this as one of his resources. So from 7 to 10. Then we're going to put the break-in main scheme under surveillance. So we attach to the main scheme, increase the target threat value of the scheme by 4. Use this for 1, this for the other 1. And that's going to be our turn. So 5 cards, well, 6 cards here. So 2 relentless assaults. Got the Hulk, strength, enhanced physique, and heroic strike. So hopefully we can do some damage next turn. And for Spider-Man, I think we'll go ahead and keep these 2 and draw 3 more. All right, getting a backflip, heroic intuition, and a surveillance team. So 2 threat to start off the villain phase, up to 5. Rhino's going to scheme over here for 1, so up to 6. Then he'll attack Spider-Man, so we get to draw a card, webbed up. Attacking for base 3. 3 damage coming our way. We will go ahead and just backflip out of that. Interrupt defense when you would take any amount of damage from an attack. Prevent all of that damage. Then encounter cards. The Doomsday Chair. When revealed, if MODOK is not in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for MODOK. Put him into play, engage with you, then shuffle the encounter deck. So it gets us an acceleration token and 8 threat on that. And MODOK is a problem. So scheme of 2, attack of 2, retaliate of 2, and 8 health. And we get a Hydra Mercenary who has guard on Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is first player. So we are going to start attacking for 3 to get rid of the Mercenary. We're going to make our next card 1 less. So we're going to put in Webbed Up. Here's 2 resources. That made it 1 less. And then we'll finish off this web shooter for the final one. Do this in hero form only. Attach to an enemy. An attached enemy would attack. Discard Webbed Up instead. Then stun that enemy. Put that on Rhino. Then Spider-Man's going to ask for some help through this helicarrier over here. Make the next card 1 cheaper. So we can put in Heroic Intuition. Using a resource here. And now, do I want this on Spider-Man or Cap? I think we'll go ahead and put it on Cap. First thing he's going to allow us to do is bring in Hulk for 1 cheaper. So we'll spend 1 to bring in the Hulk. And make some room for all his goodies. Then we've got to flip over. We're going to attack, which gets rid of our stun. Hulk will swing into Rhino for 3, take him down to 14. And of course, after he attacks, we'll flip a card, and depending on what the resource is, it does different things. So that is going to deal 2 more damage to an enemy. Taking him down to 12. Put a damage on him. Then Valkyrie. Let's see. She's going to thwart for 1. We'll pitch a card to ready Cap to have him thwart for 3. Then we're going to do a Heroic Strike. Hero action, deal 6 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this using a physical resource, which we are, stun that enemy. So taking Rhino down to 6. And he is stunned. So that's everything we can do on our hero actions. So we're going to keep this and draw 4 more cards. Getting for Justice, Heroic Intuition, Webbed Up, and Nick Fury. And for Cap, he's going to get 5 cards. Getting Mockingbird, Shield Block, Shield Toss, Energy, and Steve's Apartment. So start of the villain phase, we'll get 3 threat here. And some interesting things are happening with what we've got going out on the field here. So he's going to attack over on Spider-Man. This is my interpretation of the rules. We have 2 things that are going to trigger at the same time. So we choose the order. I'm going to choose stun. The next time this character would attack, discard this status card instead. So the stun is going. So the attack is done. So this stays on there. That's my interpretation. I haven't really seen an fact explaining how that works. So then Rhino will attack on Captain America. So when he would attack, we discard this instead, and then stun that enemy. But then MODOK will swing for 2, taking us down to 6. Then we'll deal out some encounter cards here. For Spider-Man, the Shocker comes out. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. So down to 9. And 5. And for Cap, we've got a charge. This is a problem. Attached to Rhino. When Rhino attacks, the attack gains overkill. So excess damage from an ally. This attack is dealt to that ally's controller. At the end of this attack, discard charge. And Cap will become first player. So first we're going to have the Hulk attack for 3 damage. Taking Rhino down to 3. See what happens there. He can deal 2 more damage to someone, which we will put over here on Shocker. And he'll take his 1 damage. And since we saw how that happened, we will bring in Mockingbird here for 3. And after she enters play, we stun an enemy. And then she's going to attack for 1 to get rid of the Shocker. Then we're going to bring in Steve's apartment. Alter ego action. We exhaust this to draw a card and heal the damage from Steve Rogers. So we'll bring that in with that card. Then Cap will go ahead and thwart for 3. And I think I need to keep the shield block. So on to Spider-Man. I think he's just going to go ahead and attack for 3 into Rhino to take him down to 0. So we'll bring out version 3, scheme of 1, attack of 4, comes in with toughness, and when revealed, we stun each hero. Hit points 16 per player, so up to 32. So 32 health. Make sure I read that right. Stun each hero. And he is tough. If we're going to do our trick again with webbed up, we're going to make it cost 1 less, spending 2 here and our last on our web shooter to really slow Rhino's attacks down. And that will end our turn. So for Cap, we'll keep our shield block just in case. Drawing 4 more cards. Fearless Determination, Agent 13, Haymaker, and our other Super Soldier Serum. And for Spider-Man, we'll keep these 2 and draw 3 more. Finding Aunt May for Justice and Black Cat. So 3 threat comes out. Rhino goes to attack, but he's stunned. Goes to attack over here, but he's webbed up. Which brings that back out. MODOK also attacked on Cap, and he was stunned. A lot of stun markers out. Then dealing out encounter cards. Attached to Rhino, we can spend 3 physical resources to discard this card. Gives him +1 attack. And here, eviction notice. All right, give to Spider-Man. We may flip to alter ego form. If we do, we can exhaust him to remove this. If not, discard 1 card at random from your hand. This card gains surge. Discard this obligation. Well, we will flip over and exhaust. So eviction notice paid. And he becomes player 1. And gets me thinking. Yep, that did not get surge. Good, I didn't mess that up. All right, so we've got a free resource here. We're bringing Aunt May in. We're going to go ahead and use her to heal 4 damage from Peter. He does have a total of 13 health, so this will take him up to 13. Then we are going to flip over, make our next card one cheaper, go for Justice. Paying another for Justice with that so it can remove 3 threat from a scheme. And end his turn. So for Cap, I'm going to give him Fearless Determination, +1 thwart, and he draws a card. Getting a shield block. Then he'll attack to get rid of stunned. We'll have Mockingbird attack to get rid of tough. Then see what kind of damage Hulk will do. So for 3 damage, take him down to 29. And then his additional ability is an extra 2 damage. So down to 27. So he takes the damage from that. We'll discard a card to ready Cap. And have him swing for 3. Down to 24. Then we'll bring in our other Super Soldier Serum, using this and making it cost 1 less. Then we're going to play a Haymaker, using that as a resource in Agent 13 to deal 3 damage to an enemy. So down to 21. And that will be our turn. So we'll ready up over here. We'll let Black Cat, we'll go ahead and keep her. So drawing 3 cards. Getting Avengers Mansion, Swinging Web Kick for Justice. And of course, we're keeping those 2. And then for Cap, we're definitely keeping this. So he's drawing 4 cards. So here's 1. So we're decking ourselves, which gets us an encounter card. So we'll shuffle up, getting 3 more cards. And we will get Relentless Assault, an uppercut, and our helmet. So first attack. Well, I guess first threat. Up to 5. Then Rhino attacks on Spider-Man, which gets rid of a stunned. Then Rhino is going to attack. He's got a base 8 damage coming our way. 11 damage coming our way. What a perfect time for a shield block. So when you would take any amount of damage, say 11, exhaust his shield to prevent all of that damage. So that was well timed. And the charge will be discarded. MODOK will swing in for 2. And we'll go ahead and just take it. Deal out some more encounter cards. So first on Spider-Man, he finds a Hydra Mercenary with the guard ability. Then we get ganged up on. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. So that's not what Cap wanted to see. So Rhino's going to attack. Mockingbird will jump in the way. So 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. No overkill anywhere. And the minion attacks. Oh, I did forget earlier on the main one, retaliate when that 11 damage came in. So now do I want to take the 2 damage or have someone else take it? That's pretty risky going down to 1, so we'll have Valkyrie jumping away from MODOK's attack. And then Surge, reveal. So basically we're getting 2 more cards here. We are under fire. So the first one we're getting, give Rhino a tough status card. And the second one, Rhino attacks you. If this character is damaged by this attack, that character is stunned. Goodness, 3 attacks is too many. Well, Hulk is going to have to jump in front of this one. So 5, 6 damage coming in. Rhino knocks out the Hulk. Pretty impressive. And Cap becomes first player. So Cap is going to start out with a Relentless Assault. So deal 5 damage to minion. If we use physical resources, which we will be, we're using 2 down here. The attack gains overkill. So 5 damage going over here. That blocks up 3. 2 comes through to Rhino, which takes care of toughness. Then we'll make his next card 1 cheaper. So Heroic Strike. Here's 2. It's cheaper. We're spending physical resources. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this using physical resource, stun that enemy. So we take Rhino down to 14. And he's stunned. And since I took so many attacks last time, I'm afraid of so many schemes this time. So he will thwart for 3. Then flip over. Draw a card and heal a damage. Getting a shield toss. And goes up to 4 health. Then Spider-Man is going to attack, getting rid of his stun. We'll make his next card 1 cheaper. And then do a swinging web kick for 8 damage. Taking him down to 6. That will end our turn. So drawing up to 6. We'll keep the shield tall, so 5 more cards. So Agent 13, Downtime, Haymaker, Heroic Strike, and Relentless Assault. And for Spider-Man, we'll keep these 3 cards. So Under Surveillance, Endurance, and another Spider Sense. So 3 threat comes out. Rhino is going to scheme over here. So base 1. 1 coming in, plus another 2 from MODOK. So taking that up to 8. Then he'll attack on Spider-Man, but he's stunned, so we'll get rid of that. Then deal out some encounter cards. First one, Rhino's going to get charged. And second one, caught off guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. If no cards were discarded this way, this card gains surge. Oh, we'll go ahead and get rid of our endurance. So down to 10 health. And Cap or Spider-Man becomes first player. We'll make the next card we play 1 cheaper. He makes our next ally cheaper, so we'll bring in Black Cat. After you play her, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Add each card with a printed mental resource discarded this way to your hand. So 2 cards. We get Genius. We'll give Steve Rogers some endurance here. So he's got plus 3 health, up to 7. We'll swing into Rhino for 3. Taking him down to 3. Then over here, we'll discard this to draw a card and heal 1. So up to 8. Then flip over. And we'll end up with the shield toss. So hero action, discard X cards from your hand. We'll discard 1. Then return Captain America's shield from play to your hand. Deal 4 damage to X enemies. And we'll deal that to Rhino, taking him down to 0. So with that, Captain America and Spider-Man were able to take on Rhino and deal with MODOK. Hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.